right, so now we are on page 14 of the book, and just reading from the top, they're going over melodic intervals, and this is actually a perfect segue into my next series, which is going to be an ear training series. So we're going to have videos that are going to be just about the book, and we're also going to have videos that are going to go into music theory and ear training for those that are interested in that. So just about the top, they're just talking about melodic intervals. The definition of an interval is the distance between two notes. So for example, that's an interval because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 notes in between. There's 7 from here to here. There's 7 notes, so 7 half steps. This is an interval, right? Because it's just 1 right above it. This is considered an interval. This is an interval. So basically any 2 notes that there's some notes in between is considered an interval. So I'm just going to play through the exercise here. We got treble clef, so we're going to be using our right hand. So we got C, D, C, E. And now they're taking away the letters out of the notes. So now we got to use our silly phrases. And then our left hand's getting set up here. And then there's double dots, so we got to repeat. Now we're moving on down to the first song on page 14, and they're introducing dynamic signs. I don't really want to stress these right now. I want us to be able to play the notes. We can worry about the details later, but let me just go over what dynamic signs and what they mean. So a dynamic sign, if you see, sometimes you might see the letter P in the beginning of a piece. That just means to play the piece softly. If you see an F, that means to play the piece very loud. And an easy way for me that I remember it is I kind of think of the letter F, like when you stub your toe, you kind of scream the F word, right? Because it hurts so bad. And that's how I remember whenever I see the letter F on a piece that's a dynamic sign, I always think to play that piece loud. And then the P, you can think of that just being the opposite, or you can think of psst, psst, right? You're whispering, so you're trying to be very not loud. So whenever you see that P, just think of playing the song softly or not as loud. So let me play through this one. As you can see, the left hand, there's whole rests throughout the entire piece, and then there's double dots at the end. So we are going to have to go back to the beginning of the piece and play it one more time through. So we got 1 second. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they took, as you can see, they took the letters out of the inside of the note. So now we really gotta memorize what note on what line or what space correlates to what note on the piano. So a really good home base, you can think of that C that's there in the middle of the page. I like to think of that white strip as the middle C region. So any notes, whether it be from bass clef that's way above the regular staff, or whether it be on treble clef where the notes are kind of, below the staff, that's just middle C. So any notes that you find within that white strip, I like to call it middle C region. So you can kind of find middle C, and if there's, the note right above C is D, that D that's on that piece of music is telling you to play this exact D, the one that's closest to middle C. It's just an easy way to remember how to read notes. Let's go down to the bottom of page 14, and they're introducing the dynamic sign MF. And remember, like I said before, F loud, right? You guys can remember why I think of that. And so now we got the left hand actually playing the entire time during the piece, and you can see the right hand treble clef, there's just whole rests throughout the entire piece. And this one doesn't have double dots. So right when I get to the end of the piece, I'm done, right? So let's go ahead and play through. I'm going to get my pinky on C. All right, and this time we're starting on G, so I'm going to be starting with my thumb. That's a half note, so it gets 2 seconds, so I'm going to count to 2. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this one might be a little challenging because this is on the staff now, and now we got to rely on our silly phrases, which are good burritos don't fall apart for the lines, and all cows eat grass for the spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the fifth measure, even I can see when I first started playing this piece, I got confused. I had my teacher write in that D note because it's on that middle line there. And if we count up, good burritos don't starts with the letter D. That's a D note. And like I said before, I'm gonna say it again. Don't get stressed out, right? If I'm playing it pretty quickly, but if it takes you some time, that's completely okay. It took me time when I was first playing. So take your time reading the notes, play it accurately by holding it for the specific amount of time, and yeah, just practice that for this week. Next week we're going to go into page 15, and we're going to talk about harmonic intervals. So we have melodic intervals, which mean you play it separately, and you have harmonic intervals, which means you're playing 2 notes at the same time. That's where we kind of get that word harmony, right? When you hear singers harmonizing, they're all singing certain intervals at the same time. So that's where we get that word harmony from, harmonic intervals. We're playing 2 notes or more at the same time.